Alright, starting off strong Monday morning. Figure we got a decent project for you guys, so I'll show you what we got going on. This was brought from Ohio. We need to get this thing started. It is a 97 12 valve with a 48 RE in it. We need to verify the starter works. We need to make sure that it runs good, fuel pressure, all that stuff. Make sure the injectors are good. Once we get the starter going, then once we get it running, we need to bleed the transmission lines. Bleed the transmission because you didn't get to do that. So we're gonna hook Dakota up 4 low, pull this thing out. Not a bad looking rig. I mean, clean, little rust here and there on the body, but got a stack. I actually haven't seen in the bed yet. I see air, but I don't know. Oh, he has train horns. Okay, I think that's an 8-inch stack. So she should sound good when we fire it up, but get this thing back up to it. I'm gonna grab the jack and we're gonna pull this out with the Dakota. All right, here's the dilemma. We're on it. I just need to get the trailer jacked up. I don't know how I want to do this. This thing's probably gonna squat pretty badly. I might have to put that hitch up. Needless to say, I think that's oh man, that is a lot of weight. I don't know. Oof. I don't want to snap that hitch, but yeah, we're gonna have to pull this out of here. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't know what this trailer weighs, but it can't be light with that beam going through the center. But who knows? Maybe it is light. All right, let's throw her in 4 low. We are in 4 low. Let's see if she pulls. Oh wow, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. It is pulling. And it's pulling fairly nicely. Low is great to have. Let's see how back here is doing. Yeah, the only thing I just don't, if this breaks, this whole thing's going back. So I'm gonna start throwing some, well, it might grab the ground, but back tire's off the ground. Well, let's hope. Carolina's squatting my Dodge Dakota. All right, let's get her up the driveway. Trying to be super careful just in case, because this driveway being on a downhill, if this thing were to let loose, like that would suck. All right, there we go. I got it up, and it makes some noises, but it did it. So see if I can't get this open. I think he said the other side. Missing a lug nut. I want to get in through the driver's side. I don't show you guys every project, but I do show you the ones that are worth seeing. And I haven't gotten to do any automatic 12 valves. I've dealt a lot with the 48 RE, but great transmission when built. Hopefully we can get it running. But I gotta wait to get it off the trailer until he gets here, so we're gonna back it down the driveway and then pull it in with probably the Durango. All right, the goal here is kind of to try and avoid everything. I had to pull it out of the way of the Durango because it was gonna hit. Wish I had a film guy. All right, we're getting it. Kind of neat, you can back these up with the hatch open because you can't see the trailer from the mirrors if it's on one side or the other. Trailer is secured. Just need to pull this thing into the shop. Oh, goodness gracious. It's so much more work. It's so much more work when there's only one person. Like, this would have been nice with 2 people, but whatever. All right, so I got half the straps off. All the fronts are off. Now I gotta untie all the backs and wrenches for the chains that were put on. This thing was overkill tied down. right there. I gotta get that bolt out. Luckily not one in the other side, but I'll grab that quick. Alright, well here she is under the hood. So we'll get this thing, main thing is to get it starting. It doesn't crank, it doesn't even actuate. So that tells me I think the starter's fine. We're gonna go through the fuse box, check every one of the fuses, make sure all that is good. But yeah, like I said, it's not even cranking. It's not a lot of things. So if I come up under here, I don't think I'm gonna blame the starter. The starter's probably fine. If I turn the key on, put my foot on the brakes, see, nothing. So it's telling me it's probably not starter related. Oh, we'll see. Let's get this thing off the trailer, pull it into the shop, and we'll see how it goes. We're trying to pull it in. There's no park, because it just clicks, and no e-brake. So I'm stuck putting my foot to the floor. We'll get it up in there somehow. We need to get a forklift eventually, but this is how we're doing it. The Durango to the rescue. Alright, here we got her in the shop successfully, so we're going to go over everything, clean all the connections on the battery terminals, check all the fuses and relays. Something that I have noticed is that it's not engaging park completely. So that could be a major issue as to why it's not actually starting. Because we can roll this thing around while it's in park and it'll just kind of click. So we'll get that taken care of. That's the main thing. Let's get it started first. Here's kind of what she looks like under the hood. Alright, getting a little closer. We got the battery terminals a little bit better than they were. All these are fine. It's this one here that's a little sketchy. Redid a connector on here and put new bolts in there. These are not good battery terminals. Don't use them. So we have the starter relay out now. You guys will see. So what I did, I'm not going to do it. Well, I'll do it. I might do it again. So you guys will see right down in there. Here is your starter relay, and you can see the pins, the one down on the bottom and the one on the top. See how they are not parallel with each other. Those are the two you're going to want to do this on. Now always verify this with a multimeter. I've already done that. If I do this, we know that we have a starter. So the starter works. Now we got to figure out, we're thinking it's transmission related because the tranny was pulled. We know the starter works. We don't got to pull that. But if I come up in here, nothing with the ignition switch. So I'm curious. Let's do some tests here, right? So see if we can get it to run like that. Just to try it, make sure it'll run. Before we do anything, I'm gonna check the oil, verify everything is good there, and we'll go from there. All right, put the fuel solenoid up. Let's see if she runs. It does run. Let's see if the key... Oh, I see an issue. Oh, then no tack. He said that was going to happen. Alright, so the key shuts it off. It runs. Runs okay. So we got to figure out that starter issue. Alright, we're going to get all the important shit out of the way first. Get the transmission bled. That way that's all done. And we'll go through and figure out why it's smoky. Probably check the injectors out because that's probably what's going to cause it, generally. Let's get her fired back up. Throw her neutral. The indicator on the dash is broken, but if I come down through here, I know it's accurate because that's park. If I put it in reverse, you can't go up, but you can go down. So let's see. Park, reverse, right there. Neutral, drive, one. Oh, it might be off. So before we even started this, I kind of figured, since he said he did put a transmission in it, that it was probably transmission related. That was my guess. So, check this out. She fires right up. Here's the neutral safety switch wire. So, just put across those. So either something's misaligned or we need a neutral safety switch. So I'll get under here and show you guys kind of what's going on. Ignore everything. But there's a neutral safety switch, and then it's those outer two wires. Might just be one of those things Looks fairly new though is the thing. We'll get it figured out, and then we got to figure out why it does smoke pretty good. All right, so it's after lunch now. Pretty much what we found out is the shift lever is not all the way engaging park, and we're missing first down all the way. I can run through it on the transmission itself, but when we come up here to the shifter, it's just not actuating. So we're also finding that even though I've put the transmission in park in general, disconnected the shift linkage, it still doesn't work. So we're still thinking that possibly it'll need one of those. Let's see, I accidentally left my flashlight on because I'm an idiot, but you guys can see here, here's the little shift lever. 1, 2, oops, drive, neutral, reverse, park. Okay, well what's happening is you can see that this arm is actually pulling it slightly into reverse. So instead of it being where it's supposed to be, it kind of sits, you know, a little off. So that's issue number 1, but I don't think that that's having anything to do with it not starting. There goes my flashlight. That's what we need to figure out. All right, well, I can only spend so much time with that, but that was not part of the complaint, so I'm just gonna go. We're gonna go ahead, bleed the transmission out, get all that stuff taken care of. This thing squeaks a lot, and the tach isn't reading either. For some reason, which isn't kicking the alternator on. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Definitely a smoky pig. I just revved it up a little bit. Ugh. So something up with the fueling. We'll get it figured out. Figure this transmission out first. All right, so something to make note of. We just got the transmission done, checked everything. We only have half a quart left. This is what the transmission's doing. When you put it in drive, it just wants to go. So I don't know what gear ratio is in this rear end. I'm not gonna drive it very far because quite frankly, this thing needs a lot more work than I was paid to do. But the front end is very, very loose. Like I can wiggle this wheel from side to side before it even engages. Like there's one side, there's the other. Like now it'll move. I don't know if it picks it up on video, but yeah, it's sketchy. So if I put it in drive, look at the rear tires. Oh, now it'll stop. It was digging itself a hole earlier. There we go. So the trans temp light was coming on. But I don't know. Transmission's all bled out and everything. It says it, but the light came on. Listen to that start. Oh! This thing is so herky-jerky. Alright, I'm gonna pull it back in and verify. Yeah, this thing's very torquey. Very, very, very torquey. I'm gonna put it up in here and see if we have a, ugh. I don't know what the deal is with that. So the light was coming on. I want to verify that with a heat gun just to see, but for what it is, it feels like it's in 4 low, unless the T case he put in is backwards. Four high, neutral. I don't know. It might be backwards. Let's find out. Every 12 valve I know has a leak. Right there. It's crazy. So we haven't running all the issues figured out besides... Good at dropping shit today. We need to get a crank sensor for it tonight. I was told to replace that, so we're going to replace the crank sensor. Hopefully that fixes the issue without having the tack. But the fuel screw was all the way in, so we're going to loosen this out. We're going to go over the smoke issue and make sure that the AFC is tuned properly, and then we're going to go over the turbo, because he said it's never been over 5 psi. You know, could be a bad thing, but looks like there was a little bit of oil in the inlet of the turbocharger, but it still spools really good, so we'll see what the issue is there. Gee, I wonder why it smokes. The spring is pushed all the way that way, which means all of the smoke. Basically means this guy has the fuel turned as far up as possible. There is no tension on that spring in there. So we're gonna dial this back a lot. This guy just basically wanted smoke. So this owner here bought it from somebody else. That's the previous owner we're talking about. The previous owner wanted all of the smoke. So we're gonna take care of that and bring it back a little bit more stock. So I'm gonna sit here and do this for about an hour until that comes back over. Alright, so there's where we're gonna put it now. See how it's kind of closer to the middle? It's not quite in the middle, but it was all the way this way. So now I'll lock that back down in there, and then we'll try to drive it. See how she runs now. I don't know about you guys, that's a lot less smoke. Alright, we're gonna try it out on the road a little bit, but I'm not going very far because this front steering is so bad. This is the scariest steering. Holy shit, this is scary. Oh, look at the boost. Little smoky. Woo! This thing lights up pretty good, but it's so scary. Yeah, the steering is just uncontrollably bad. Very, very, very bad. Way too much fueling. Way too much fueling. I can see exactly what he means. It runs awesome, but it smokes so badly up on the top end. All right, so we've cleared up the idle smoke, but I don't know if you guys can tell from the stack just how freaking dirty it is. This thing chiefs. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out some of that fueling, but there's turbo smoking a little bit. I don't know if there was something residual on that turbo, but there is a little there's a little bit of oil in the intake side. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep dialing this thing in and see how it acts. We just need to get the fueling in the top end to kind of come down. It has too much fuel, so even if we adjust that, it's still... All right, I'm a little dirty, but we're doing the tuning now. This thing smokes way too much on the top end, so we're gonna try and dial that out. So we'll see if we can dial it out, but it's scary. I can't film and drive at the same time. It's scary. As you guys saw, that was still a lot of smoke. We need no smoke. Oh, and this thing is definitely getting scarier and scarier as I drive it.